Hey friend, can we be straight with each other for a second? Stop and ask yourself one uncomfortable, direct question, no sugarcoating. How often does your girlfriend actually, truly experience an orgasm during regular sex? Not the theatrical moan to make you feel good, but that genuine, real bliss, after which she goes limp, stays silent for a minute, and there are stars in her eyes. Be honest with yourself. If the number in your head isn't as impressive as you'd like, take a deep breath in and out. You are not alone. Believe me, you are not alone in this quiet, awkward statistic that most men carry inside, but are afraid to voice. And you know what? It's not your fault. I repeat, it's not your fault. Because we men were taught something completely different from a young age. We were taught that the main things in sex are strength, stamina, size, technique, like in the movies. We were taught that her pleasure is a byproduct of our performance. That if she's not screaming with delight, it means we're doing something wrong. Not trying hard enough, not powerful enough. And here lies the root of the whole problem. The thing is, we approach her body like a complex device for which we've lost the manual. We press all the buttons at once, turn up the volume and speed, hoping it will start working now. But it doesn't, and we feel like failures. But what if I told you the manual exists? And it's not about how to strain, but about how to understand. To understand the simplest and most amazing thing. Her body is not built like yours. Her main pleasure center is not the vagina. It's the clitoris. A small but incredibly powerful organ whose sole function is to provide pleasure. And for most women, simple penetration is not enough for orgasm. They need direct or indirect, but constant and precise stimulation of that zone. Imagine trying to open a door with the wrong key. You can push against that door with your shoulder long and hard. It won't budge. You just need to find the right key and turn it effortlessly. So, everything we're going to break down next is a set of such keys. It's not about plowing more. It's about hitting more accurately. It's not about your strength, but about your attention. Not about your stamina, but about your sensitivity. Are you ready to set aside old myths and take simple working tools in hand? Then keep watching. Because next will be concrete steps that will turn your intimacy from a lottery into a predictable, magical, and mutual celebration. And the first step begins with realizing this simple truth. Her body is not your battlefield. It's your shared treasure map. And you're about to learn how to read it. Here's the main trap most of us fall into. The image of the real man in bed is firmly lodged in our heads, a sort of titan whose mission is to work diligently, demonstrating power, speed, and tirelessness. We think her orgasm is the finish line she crosses because of our effort, our pace, our push. But let's be real. Her body is not a rowing machine. It doesn't count strokes, and depth is not a synonym for pleasure. In fact, a woman's most sensitive zones are not deep inside, but near the entrance. And the main control center is the clitoris. Not just a dot, but a complex organ whose sensitive parts are hidden inside. And science has long put everything in its place. Research clearly shows the most reliable predictor of female orgasm during sex is not the depth of penetration, but blood flow to the clitoris. The better the blood supply, the higher the arousal, and the closer the peak. The task is simple as a nail. Create conditions for that flow and provide quality stimulation. But how? The clitoris is outside, and we're inside. This is where the key discovery lies. We can't reach it directly during penetration, but we can create indirect, yet powerful stimulation through the right angle, pressure, and friction. Imagine her pelvis is a bowl. Our task is to tilt that bowl so that with every movement of yours, the base of your penis or pubic bone gently and rhythmically presses on the area outside, above the entrance, where the clitoris is located. It's like a tuning fork. You create a vibration outside that resonates deeply inside. This is precisely why strength, speed, and depth often miss the mark. Fast, deep thrusts simply fly past this zone, not creating the needed constant pressure. It's like trying to hammer a nail by swinging the hammer like a sword. Lots of noise and effort, but little result. The real magic begins when you slow down, when you stop pushing and start rubbing, rocking, gliding. Your goal is not to break through defenses, but to maintain this continuous wave-like contact. It's like a slow dance where your pelvises move in unison, not a sports competition. And most importantly, you don't need the steel endurance of a marathon runner. You need the attention of a sculptor who feels the material. You need to notice how her breathing changes when you find that perfect angle. Catch how her muscles tense when the pressure becomes ideal. Your main weapon now is not your muscles, but your observation and willingness to follow the signals of her body. You stop being a performer who tries hard. You become an explorer who discovers. And in this shift lies all the difference between routine and real, explosive intimacy. The first method is when she's on top, facing you. Why does it work? She controls the angle, rhythm, and depth herself. This not only gives her power over the process, which is liberating, but also, as research shows, maximizes blood flow to the clitoris. Suggest she experiment. Let her try slight tilts, rocking motions, change hand placement. Let her find what she likes best. Here's the second key. It's so simple that many don't believe it, and that's why it's hardly ever used. A shame. Because this is possibly the fastest upgrade to your intimacy, and it's lying right in your bedroom. And it doesn't require any special preparation or acrobatics. Just one ordinary pillow. Forget about complex poses from erotic films for a second. Let's go back to basics. The classic position where you're on top. Now make one move. Gently lift her hips and place a pillow under them. Not a high bolster, not a stack. One fairly firm pillow. And here begins the physics that works for your mutual benefit. What's really happening? You're changing the geometry. Without a pillow, her pelvis lies flat, and your movements follow a straight trajectory, often flying past the most sensitive zones. With a pillow, her pelvis is raised. This creates a natural, anatomically correct tilt. And now your penetration, your most ordinary movement, changes its vector. You're no longer moving simply back and forth. You're moving slightly upward, toward the front wall of the vagina and, crucially, toward the base of the clitoris, which is hidden outside. Each of your movements now creates gentle but confident pressure and friction in exactly the right place. This is no longer just internal stimulation. It's a complex effect where everything is engaged. This turns ordinary thrusts into a constant massage of the key erogenous zone. And amazingly, you don't need to exert extra effort or change your rhythm for this. Your body does it on its own, following the new, correct geometry. But the magic isn't just in the physics, it's in the psychology too. When you place a pillow under her, you send a silent, yet screamingly clear signal. I'm thinking about your comfort. I want you to feel not just good, but truly incredible. This simple gesture of care removes tons of tension. She stops being a passive participant and feels your involvement, your attention to detail. She relaxes, allows herself to sink into the sensations, knowing you're managing the process with care. Seems like a small thing? It's precisely such small things that create the difference between okay and I've never felt like this before. You're not just adding a pillow. You're adding an angle that becomes a bridge to her pleasure. You're adding intention that builds trust. And you're adding efficiency that delivers results. Try it next time. Place the pillow. Start with your usual slow movements. Listen closely. Most likely, you'll hear a different sound in her breathing. You'll see her eyes close differently. That will be your first clear signal that you're on the right path. Simple. Like everything genius. The third method is a revolution for those who thought an orgasm from penetration was impossible for their partner. Let's call it the slow dance technique. You're both in the missionary position, but instead of sharp thrusts, you synchronously rock your pelvises together, as if dancing. The base of your penis, meanwhile, applies gentle, continuous pressure to her clitoris. This creates that very targeted stimulation that's so needed. Ask her where to move, listen to her body. This makes you a team. The fourth method is for deep connection. Sit facing each other. This position doesn't provide the most powerful stimulation, but everything else in it is perfect. You can look into each other's eyes, hug, be as close as possible. This enhances trust and emotional intensity. For greater comfort and better contact, you can also use a pillow or change the angle of tilt. Remember these 4 words: angle, rocking, shallow, help. Tilt her pelvis to find the perfect spot. Move not with thrusts, but with smooth rotations and rocks. Sometimes focusing on shallow penetration near the entrance works better than deep movements. And most importantly, don't be shy about helping with your hand or a toy during the process. It's absolutely normal and brings her closer to the peak. Your task is not to perform, but to explore. Sex is a game, a discovery, and shared territory. Don't stay silent. Ask, do you like it like this? How does this feel? Watch her reactions and adjust. Choose one position and one technique from what we've discussed. Talk about it with your partner. Tell her you want it to be even better for her. Don't make orgasm the goal. Make enjoying the process, every touch, the goal. These small changes will bring you much more closeness, trust, and, of course, pleasure. Give it a try. It's all in your hands. Good luck.